Ziguida.
Boomba,
Motherfucker.
A fusion. Are you into devil? Thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of About the Night, episode 55.
Ooh, yeah.
Nah. We got a lot of things to talk about. For one, man, I'm going to go ahead and kick the show off just straight outlandish, man. Bart Scott, fuck you, nigga. All right, I'm going to just start off straight out the gate, man. He said some outlandish shit that had me pissed off about T. Higgins. Now, I know T. Higgins can't say anything because he's on contract and he's getting ready to play for a potential Super Bowl team, but I'm going to say it for the nigga. This is what he want to say to you. Fuck you, nigga. Made a living out of hitting people and hurting people and try to pass that judgment on people. I can't stand that shit. But like I said, we got an exciting show for you. That's just part of it. A lot of things to go over. But you know, you're rocking with the crew right now. I got the guys with me. Tony, Warren, Rob, Winton. Let's dive in, man. Obviously, this is a new year, new me, right? We out here. What'd you guys do this weekend? Happy New Year's, by the way, fellas.
First show of 2023.
2023.
I live in the Northern California area. I didn't do shit because of that damn storm. That was ridiculous.
New Year's came in flooded.
That shit was wild.
No power.
I'm not gonna lie. I was working, right, and I was trying to get off because I really wanted to go, downtown into the club. When I heard the power was out, I was like, dude, is anybody gonna even do anything? Power was out. Wind was blowing. Like windows was like vibrating. Like like I was like, dang, this is crazy right now. Warren, we're ready. You went out. What happened?
Yeah, man. I was. I tried to go out.
Okay.
We pulled up. I mean, the whole block was out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We went down there. We were trying to turn up. We had a table at Bar West, but we pulled up. I forgot who we talked to, but we talked to somebody at the door, and we were like, "Man, what's going on?" And then he was just like, "Man, power's been out for I think he was saying 30, 40 minutes." I actually checked in with Greg. Greg was there,
Okay.
So I got to talk with Greg for a little bit, and then we went in and we actually sat down. There were some people in there. So they're like, man, feel free to come in, sit down. If the power turns on, then, we'll go as normal. But if it doesn't, we're going to send everybody home. So we chilled for 15 minutes. Power still didn't come on. So they just came around.
So wait a minute. Y'all chilled in the dark?
We was in there in the dark, just talking.
That's what's up,
we were
though.
just talking, yeah.
That's what's up.
There was
What light did they have? The candles lit or
It
something?
was just they had some it was weird. They had some type of blue light.
No music?
Nah, no. Somebody was playing music on their phone. So, but I mean, it was like a handful of people in there, workers and just regular people just chilling, waiting to see if the lights turned on. But I guess Greg was telling me around the corner, the tree fell down and it was on one of the lines.
Yeah, because it was the whole block was at Harlow's,
Yeah.
Blue Heat, the bar with all them.
Bro.
Yeah, it was power out here. And I had power out, no cell phone service.
There's something about this storm that said "fuck trees" because everywhere I went, every block,
was
there was
down.
a tree down. I was like,
Oh, bro,
Jesus.
it wasn't just bro. There was some old grandfather trees got uprooted.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Got hella
Big ass
disrespected.
motherfuckers.
Elder abuse.
It's just crazy.
Heard some old ass. It's powerful pulling out oak trees and shit.
Right.
Bro, I was like, man, there's one by the gym that I go to. I was like, man, that fell over. I was like, man, when it's pulled out the root, it's literally it's about a good 12 feet tall from the root part. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, it was nasty. It was supposed to be nasty last night.
Yeah,
I mean, it was blowing. It wasn't nice, but it wasn't nowhere near what it was on New Year's Eve, bro.
Yeah.
El Nino out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
I'm not gonna lie, man. I was kind of scared. I packed a little to-go bag just in case. You know what I mean? I was a little nervous. You know what I mean? I was like, man, they said we're about to be flooded, and I'm in the NATO, so that's flood central. You know what I mean?
What does a scared buffalo look like?
Man, I was about to run to the snow. That's what, nigga. Don't that be in the snow? I was like, hey, let's go to Reno right now. Fuck it. I'd rather fight the snow. I'd rather fight the snow right now than be flooded. Niggas can't swim. I can swim. Let me stop playing. I can swim.
Don't feed into that.
But I'm just saying
that happened on 99 though. Didn't people? One of our boys, Al, he's telling me his sister almost their whole family almost died because they went through on 99, and then they got backed up, and then the water just came, and they all had to get out of their vehicles and get on the roofs of their vehicles. To
There's certain freeways was like that. Yeah, it's just the reservoirs and stuff like that that's out there, and getting flooded, and it's just taking over a lot of the roads. Yeah, I was about to get ready to go out. I was the only one that was doing the security, trying to get them smooth handshakes on New Year's Eve, but it wasn't none smooth that night.
How did that go?
I mean, it was cool at the spot. It wasn't nothing crazy. It definitely it picked up later on, like because the winds, like it stopped, like probably around, I'd say maybe 10, 30, 11. It just died off. And then that's when people started coming. But I could imagine it wasn't nowhere near the numbers it was gonna be. But yeah, I was at that house right before I was about to get ready to get dressed and go. Power went out, cell phone service went out.
Ain't nobody trying to go out in that type of weather. Who's going to drive in that? You know
people want to shake their ass, man. It is what it is.
It was blowing my big ass back. I was just trying to walk to the car. I'm walking like I'm Billie Jean at an angle and shit. Like, man, it's crazy. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, I was just watching the Ohio State Georgia game, and then that's when the shit went just out. And I was like, man, I actually had to take my shower in the dark, light some candles, and get to work. You know what's funny? I almost had a Tony moment. I got to bring that up because it was right before I was gonna go and take off. Because I'm like, you got to imagine, there's no internet, no cell phone service. My phone says SOS, no power. And I'm dressed, I'm ready to go to work, and I'm sitting down, and I'm like, man, should I go? Like, I don't know what's going on out there. Like, what if Putin just blew everything up, just fucked everything up, and my shit's just done, and I'm worried about trying to get to work.
Right.
And I'm like, let me go spin the block real quick and see what's going on. And then I drove up until I seen, like, the whole neighborhood was out, the whole neighborhood, until I got to like the main street, and that's when I saw like the sign for like a KFC was lit up and the Chevron was lit, and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't get cell phone signal till I got on the freeway. So
hey, just to let you know that FirstNet, true.
What?
She had service, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
So it works. It 100% works.
Shout out to the FirstNet.
All right.
So I was like, damn, I had no service and she did. It was crazy, but.
That is what's up. I was a little pissed off though, man. Why? Because I woke up that morning and I ain't got no trees in front of my house, mind you. But there was nothing but leaves in front of my stuff. And I mean, like, it was so many leaves to where it was like blocking the water, right? So I went out there and I cleaned up my whole front yard. Knocked all them leaves out. No wind at the time. It was great. I go, I'm done. Cup of whiskey, and you look out there at the yard, you proud, you know what I mean? Like my house, it looked clean, no leaves, no nothing.
I know.
And then the storm comes. I was so mad. It's like washing your car the day before it rains, man. It was horrible.
I'm just gonna let you know, I had nothing but leaves on our yard. When that storm came through, they were all gone. So you didn't need to do it.
Yeah,
you didn't need to do it.
Wasting your time,
energy, and effort. Yeah, goodness gracious. Well, man, I want to definitely go ahead and wish everybody a happy new year, and may this 2023 be a really good one for you. Whatever your ambitions are, go after them one day, one step, one fight, one punch at a time. And when we're talking about fights, we had
fuck all that, man. Don't be doing no bullshit ass New Year's resolutions. I don't need y'all clogging up the gym anyway. For the us dudes that be in there consistently.
It could be something else. It could be a lot of other things, not just going to the gym. It's not a New Year's resolution. There's other ones. There's a lot of other ones, okay? But let's talk about one of these major headlines that's obviously happening right now in the news. If we don't talk about it, I mean, we wouldn't be talking about anything in general. And we're going to talk about and wish a lot of prayers, for a freak accident that happened on the NFL football field on Monday with the Bengals and the Buffalo Bills. So prayers go out to Damar Hamlin and his family. I could just only imagine what they're going through, watching that live and just me seeing it live. I this year has been the year of crazy hits happening. Tua, Russell Wilson.
We've had
Kenny,
discussions about it,
right?
Yeah,
and this one wasn't. It didn't look like one of those hits. It
wasn't.
Right.
It didn't look like a nasty mean hit, and there was the second Tua hit didn't look like a mean hit either. He kind of hit the back of his head, not as rough, but hit it, but it still sparked an issue, a neurological issue, right? This one just seemed like a routine tackle.
Yeah.
Well, it was a routine. It's sad because I was at the job watching this live, and I remember as it going on because I was really pumped for this game. A lot of people were. This had
Big
huge implications
Absolutely.
as far as the AFC and so I'm watching, and it was the CT Higgins going up and it gets tackled. I'm looking at him like, okay, and I turn around. Next thing I'll see, I'm like, they got the stretcher out. And I'm like, what the hell? And then they showed a replay, like literally right after, and he just collapses.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, that ain't look right.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
really anything like that. like I think to that level, right?
The 201 was scary. The 201
But this
was
one, he
scary.
but this one, like he full on collapsed back
True.
and snapped
Yeah.
his head back and
True.
hit the ground. Like
Right.
there was literally no stoppage when it came down when he fell.
Mm-hmm.
And then the part that I really noticed it, man, they went to break like 4 times before they actually. Then that's when you start. Then they cut to the studio where they had Booger McFarlane and I think Adam Schefter and I think Linda Cohen. I think her name is I forget her name. But they were now that it's focused on them and them 3 are talking in the studio. I'm like, I ain't never seen nothing like this. I said so, and then they're talking about CPRs being administered, and he hasn't been breathing, and he's non-responsive, and all of that. And now
And
I'm
you
like,
see everybody crying too. Like
and then
everybody.
you see
I'm
the
like,
oh,
the
shit,
Bills
that's crazy.
players, the Cincinnati players,
It was
like
crazy.
like
I
you
was
see
like, what's
everybody
going on?
reacting. I'm like, and it just brings me back to some of those. I remember some moments as a kid, like I forget the brother that played for the Lions. That was the one dude that I remembered where he was paralyzed. But it wasn't even like this.
Best, the running back.
No.
Javon Best?
This was way back. This was like back in the 90s.
He wasn't paralyzed. My
Yeah.
bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But
Wasn't paralyzed.
I remember that situation. That kind of brought me back because that was the one thing I remembered. The next person was Corey Stringer with the Minnesota Vikings because that was somebody that actually passed. But that was during practice or during like training camp. He played with the Minnesota Vikings. So those those players start, coming to my memory, and I'm like, man, what is going on?
Right.
Like, what is happening? And they kept showing the replay of him getting, of that. I'm like, number one, he's the defender.
Right. He should
So this
be
is not like
delivering.
a head-on-head collision. The helmets didn't even touch.
He should be delivering.
It's
the
like,
glove.
what was the issue? And then you start speculating. You start saying, did he have a chronic condition he was unaware of, or
Right.
or maybe it's just the way he fell, man, and it was the adrenaline that got him up, and then he just collapsed. Like you didn't know if neurological. It could have been anything. Concussion is the first thing you start thinking about, and it was definitely a real moment, man. At the job, literally, the employees and customers all stopped.
Well,
Everybody was looking at the screen like, dude, what's going on?
just to give people a recap of what happened, he was, being administered CPR for about 9 minutes, and then taken to a UC medical facility nearby in Buffalo. As they suspended the game temporarily at that moment in time, and we'll jump into what the NFL has done since then. But
No, they weren't in Buffalo.
was it in
was in
Cincinnati?
Cincinnati.
It was in Cincinnati.
It was in
yeah.
Cincinnati.
Oh shit, was it Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, they suspended the game temporarily, and the NFL did just come out with a statement stating that they did officially cancel
The game. Yeah.
that game.
Well, that just came out today.
Yeah, right.
Because it had been, they suspended the game, which they've never done.
Mm-hmm.
This is this is unprecedented.
Yeah. Very.
What they did, like that whole thing, and
What was stated is he had a heart
they said it was a
cardiac
cardiac arrest.
arrest.
Cardiac
Excuse me.
arrest.
on the field.
Right. But see, like, if you look at it, because I kind of had the same reaction that you did, Rob. Because when I seen it, I didn't really know what was going on. I just seen all the players' reactions. I didn't see it live.
Right.
And so I seen all the players. Like, I seen Josh Allen with his hands on his face and everything. And I was thinking it was immediately a head injury. I was like,
That's what I thought, too.
It had to
Right.
be a head injury. And so when I seen the film, I watched it again. I was just like, I wonder if that played into it. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Because if you watch the play, everybody that's played football, if you've been a ball carrier, your coach always tells you to finish the run. If you watch it closely, when Higgins caught it and he was running, he finished the run. He dipped his shoulder into Damar.
Right.
You know, he finished the run. Like he put his shoulder in his chest, and then when you see him get up and he falls, you're just like, man, I wonder if that played into that. You know
So
what I mean?
that's a good question, and that's the main reason why in the beginning of the statement I said fuck Bart Scott, because he really went on and blamed T. Higgins for the way that he finished the run.
Because I heard you say that. What did he say? What did Bart Scott say?
He was blaming T. Higgins.
But what exactly did he say as far as blaming though? Like what did he say? Because I listened to Bart Scott. He was on First Take.
Mm-hmm. He gave his condolences, but there was a moment where he had blamed T. Higgins for lowering his head and shoulder and delivering that blow that forced him to have that cardiac arrest.
That sure that he blamed him, or he just highlighting what happened?
He blamed him. He blamed T. Higgins.
So he's
yes.
Let's get it understood.
Absolutely,
we got to be clear.
Go ahead.
You saying that Bart Scott
fuck him
said that it's T. Higgins' fault that Damar Hamlin is in the hospital.
That's pretty
correct.
Ignorant.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
You know what's funny is I heard it this morning, and it was just one of those.
I heard him giving a basically a play-by-play on what happened.
No, he blamed him, dog.
But to say that you saying that he put him, he said it's his fault.
Yeah, I'll show you the video. In a minute.
I ain't gonna lie,
I didn't have it ready.
Heard that.
I didn't have it ready. I'll show you the video. But in general,
Bart Scott gonna be on your helmet, boy.
Man,
you just slander, bro.
Let him, man. I'm saying what T. Higgins want to say to this nigga, because on real, he can't say what he want to say, man. You gonna come out here and blame me for one? You putting the guilt on me, bro? I already feel bad enough that this natural instinct of me lowering my shoulder and holding and tucking the ball in tight while I go forward. He was just previously hurt a few weeks ago. T. Higgins, mind you, he was just recently hurt, probably not wanting to get hurt again, so he'd rather lower my shoulder and let me get the first yard, the first down or more yardage, cover the ball. A natural instinct, and to go out there and say that he did something wrong that caused this issue, to put that type of guilt on him already.
I'm gonna have to listen to that.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna have to listen to that, because I ain't gonna lie, I've probably watched. And I watch a lot, a lot of sports. I watch a lot of like debate shows and stuff like that. Just 'cause I love sports. But this one specifically, I was paying attention to what a lot of people were talking about in regards to this situation. And I listened to Bart Scott on First Take. I've listened to what Stephen A. had to say. Listened to Ryan Clark he was in tears. I mean, because when it actually was going down, they had him on, I think it was Scott Van Pelt on ESPN. Yeah. That was where you was listening to that actual night.
Right.
But I didn't hear that. I'm gonna have to check on that, because I didn't hear that.
And tell that nigga we can square up, nigga, right now, man. Come square up, man.
If he did say that, I do agree with you though.
Facts, man.
Well, that's wrong. If he did say that,
he made a profession off of being a linebacker and laying the hits at a time where all these concussion protocols and the knowledge that we have, the medicine that we have, wasn't around. So how many people that we know back then, when we weren't really checking for all these injuries, are actually hurt due to the pain that he's inflicted? How many times did he go torpedoing at somebody, knock them the hell out, get up, woo, like nothing happened?
I mean, it's football. But I will say this, and I'm with you on the hypocrisy part, because that's what it sounds like what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I have another question, and I know a lot of people ain't talking this. And again, I'm just glad that before we get into that, let's just he did write who won the game. And the doctors responded, he won the game of life. So that's good that he's in good spirit. Like right now, it seems to be on a positive trajectory for this young man.
Okay, good.
I got a question though, and this in regards to the NFL. NFL take a lot of heat.
Oh yeah.
So I want to ask this though: what if this happened in the third quarter?
Then suspending the game and canceling the game would have been a lot easier than the first. That's all. It would have been an easier decision, and they would have made that a lot quicker than it took them to make it than right now. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. You actually think that it would have been easier to cancel or suspend the game?
Because they're almost there.
If it happened in the third quarter or the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Explain yourself, because you sound dumb as hell.
I see what you're saying. Right? I say it would have been maybe I shouldn't have said
how is it going to be
cancel,
easier?
Or call it as is, meaning like this is the end of the game and you can still count it. I should have said that. You can still count it middle of the third quarter. I would still count it. more than half the game was played, depending on where the score was at, and it was already somewhat looking bad in a favor of one specific team in the first quarter.
It
already.
wasn't looking bad. It was 7-3.
7-3. Yeah.
What do you mean? It's 7-3. It's
You're
bad.
right, and it's too
You
early.
can't say it was
too
looking bad.
early.
It's not.
It's too
no,
early.
But so how would it have been easier? That don't even make any sense.
I guess it would have been easier to have been like, okay, let's just call it at this point and count the game. I should say it that way. And count the game opposed to the first. Not the first quarter. Not in the first quarter. But in the third quarter, it'd be easier for them to say, let's count the third game where it's at, where it is, opposed to canceling it like out of the first quarter. That's how I look at it as.
You probably the only person in the world that would have had that take.
Bro, they're already talking about deciding a game to a flip of a coin as far as deciding who gets home court advantage if the who meets up in the wild card.
No, that was not how they went. That's not how they did it. They basically said that based on the scenario of play, they were going to be at a neutral site.
No, but I'm telling you, there is a wild card opportunity where if somebody gets in a wild card match, they're literally going to flip a coin to see who gets home court advantage. That's what it's really going to come down to. So why would they not stop the game in the end of the third quarter? Just to be like,
how was that even remotely the same thing?
You're telling me you're gonna give home court advantage to a flip of a coin?
No, what I'm saying is
in a wild card match, which
what
is very
important. What if it was your fantasy football team?
That's the reason why there's a lot of people talking about it right now.
That's already the problem, though. The
fantasy football.
Yeah, because people was in their fantasy championships.
Well, that's the inconsiderate part. That's the reason why Skip is getting a lot of blowback for what he did. You know, we'll get into Skip in a minute. We'll dive into him. But this fantasy football is colluding the natural fact of being human. Someone.
I want to get back to what Rob.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because you said some dumbass shit.
I want to get back to Rob.
I'm gonna go ahead. Because
I think to me, like, the NFL didn't have a decision in this. But just like in the first quarter of the game, the players made a decision.
Agree.
Like the players were just.
I agree with that. The players and the coaches.
Yeah, regardless what the league wants to do, it's decided.
Yeah.
You know, we're not coming back out there, especially for Buffalo. And I stand with all those players on the field. If one of my teammates is down, we ain't going back out there.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? We in the locker room until we find out he's okay. So if that happens in the third quarter, I think it goes down the same way.
And that's an interesting point because you're gonna have a huge pushback because I feel.
So what you got, nigga? What's your answer?
Because I feel like it would definitely been a lot harder.
What you got, nigga? What's your answer? What you doing?
You're not listening.
Okay, go ahead.
I just said it would have been a whole lot harder. That's why it don't make no sense why you said it would have been easier. I don't know where
just
the
call
fuck
the game where it's at, nigga. That's what the game is, right there.
So you think if the game was just that one team? What if it was tied?
And see, I mean, that's and
so
really,
so you're just
it
like that wouldn't have been
the
easier.
Score is at, and I said it depends on where the match was at.
No, but what I'm saying is I think that this situation is so unfortunate and it's so
very
like I was literally like worried about this man.
Right.
Like I'm literally like, what the hell? What is this? Like is this guy gonna be it? My girl, she came over that night. And I was like, I do not want to wake up and my phone notification say this dude passed away.
I know, bro.
Mm-hmm. I was like, that was what I really did not want to see.
Right.
I was really worried about that. And I started thinking about, and it was the next day, you know, some of the shows are coming on and I'm thinking about the whole situation. I'm like, what if this happened in the third quarter, fourth quarter? Would the NFL had, you know, suspended the game? And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure they would have. Now, to your point, Warren, I think that was a good display of unity of the players and the coaches of both these teams, both Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills, that you was like, you know what? We're going to say that the priority is life and the well-being of one of our brothers. And I think that was a perfect display of unity. I'm going to shock y'all with my position as far as the NFL. I'm going to be honest. Y'all know I'm hard on corporations. It's my line of work. But I'm going to bring this up. The NFL does deserve credit because they've been getting a lot of heat. But they deserve credit just for this. They suspended this game. They canceled the game today. They basically have made it where Damar Hamlin's life and his condition is more important than playing a game of football. I brought up this to analogy at work. I said, if I'd have dropped dead at my job, they wouldn't give a fuck. They'd be like, you want to buy fiber after?
That's a fact. Okay.
What job you work at would have done that?
Truly.
So think about that for a second before you start casting judgment on a big corporation like the NFL. And yes, they are a money-driven corporation. They all about the bread. But in this instance, you got to give them a little bit of credit that they decided not to just go the route of a money grab, because you know how much the money implications that this had,
betting,
like all this type of stuff. That's not just a super easy decision for a corporation to make. Not saying that life is more important than anything, but I'm saying that that's not just necessarily an easy decision. There's a lot of moving parts that are involved with making a decision like that. You talk about all those fans that are at the stadium and trying to have them exit, and you have to do that timely because you don't want to, congest the roads, because that could fuck with the ambulance that's trying to get him to the hospital. Like there's a whole bunch of different stuff that plays out with this that I think that everybody did a good job.
Okay.
And shout out to all the doctors and the medical personnel that pretty much are responsible for Damar to still be breathing today. I just look at it from that angle as far as the NFL. I think they do deserve just lay off them a lot, because what corporation would shut down the job because you passed away
at
the job? I don't think so. I don't think they would.
I have a question about that though.
Shit, ask Amazon. They be making people piss in bottles and shit while they on break before they can go to all this. Like, bro, they ain't doing that.
That being said, and the NFL did make a good decision on that. And not to take away from that, you're completely 100% right. Do you think though there was a little bit of, you know what I mean? You think the NFL did it completely justful? You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those situations where
100%.
We better do this or else.
100%.
Okay.
100%. But this is the key part. This is the only reason why I give them credit, because there's plenty of corporations that still would have not done it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I say that. There's still plenty of corporations that still, even knowing that, even though that the PR wouldn't have been good if they continued the game on, they still would have went with it. The fact that they didn't, I think that they deserved that part. But you are absolutely right. They definitely had the pressure of the public opinion.
Right.
If you did not suspend this game and you tried to continue to play this game while this man is fighting for his life, you would have had a lot of stuff to answer to on that. Like, they would have not looked good for the NFL, especially in, when you compound that with the situations that's going on with the concussion protocols and the protection of players and all that type of stuff. I want to let you finish what you were going to say, because I know exactly where you're going with that, because I have something to say on that. In regards to that, when you're talking about the video that you watched. No, he does.
Okay.
That video where it was talked about with the NFL. Where the one you sent me.
Yeah.
I had a lot of feeling about that, and that strikes a chord with me. Well, I'll let you describe what that video was.
Well, it was just somebody I follow, and it was just interesting how he brought up a point about the union and what's happened in terms of the bargaining deal with the NFL.
Right.
That the fact that they've changed, we could sit here, we can give all these prayers and all these praises to this man, but it's like, are they really going to take care of him though in the end? Like, and he put his money out there, but he did it for a reason. You know what I mean? And I thought that was like, whoa, that put it in perspective. I didn't know about that with the bargaining deal with the NFL. Do you know more about that, or do you?
So I'll say this: before you sent me that, I had Dominic Foxworthy. He's on ESPN. He does. He was actually on First Take for a little bit. He had a small segment. I actually recorded it because, man, I had to rewind on my TV and watch it again, because he brought up such a good point that resonated with me just because of my line of work, what I do. And he was talking about how there's a lot of executives in the NFL, and there's a lot of people that he sees that are saying, man, we got to make sure that we take care of our players. Prayers are for Damar Hamlin and his family, and we want to make sure that our players are playing a safe game as possible. Everybody's making everything sound good.
Right, the right things to say.
And the point he made is, he said, you know what? He said, and he started off the comment before this. He said, this may not be the best time to say this, but he said, I think it's important. He said, the fact is, a lot of these people, the same people that are saying prayers to him, safety, preaching all this good stuff that sounds good, he said, when it matters at the bargaining table, when we're negotiating to get these players better pensions, better pay after they leave this game, where they are beaten and battered and dealing with CTE and all other type of stuff. These guys not only not want to give it to them, they want to shortchange them. And that spoke so much to me because in my line of work, I've had situations like that. I've seen stories where we had technicians that have, been severely injured due to the job that they do or been electrocuted, some that have been died. We had situations in some retail where you had, robberies and stuff like that where the corporation didn't even want to provide a security guard. So when it's at the bargaining table, when the shit really matters, are you going to step up? At that point, it's good to sound all right now in this midst of this situation. But when it matters is at the bargaining table when they need this stuff to be going on. A lot of these players are putting their bodies on the line, putting their brains and lives on the line.
That's a fact.
And then and a lot of people don't know that the video that Tony's talking about. You have to be vested in the NFL. You got to reach, I think, the year 4 or 5 to be vested before you can even start receiving a lot of those benefits that you get or to even receive a pension. And that's like that for a lot of corporations. But for the NFL, it's because the shelf life is so short.
Very short.
And I was like, so that Dominic Foxworthy on ESPN and the brother that was on that show, I forget what show that was on, but they were discussing that, and that really resonated with me. Shortness
to be able to say, Damar Hamlin has only been in the league. What is his second year?
Second year,
yeah. Second year, and short life. I'm optimistic now. I'll be 100% honest with you. When it happened on the field, I was just like, man, this is going to be sad news. It
didn't look good,
and everything that everyone's saying at this current point in time is to kind of keep the public from hearing a tragedy or some type of sad news. But when I woke up this morning and heard that he's responsive and he wrote something down, he wrote, did we win? It brought a smile to your face for sure.
Absolutely.
The humor in it. Did we win? That's what you're thinking about right now. And then of course the doctor responded, yeah, you won at the game of life, right? But no, the humor part about it, I have still in the back of my mind, like now, okay, he's writing. I heard his legs are moving. They still have him heavily sedated, obviously, still in critical condition. But is he going to be able to play again? Is he going to be able to get those checks again?
I think that's I think right now that's the last thing he's thinking about. I think right now he's thinking about survival, and I think that's the biggest thing. Another thing, just
where
to
I'm
think
going
about,
at though, is where's that money going to come from? The sacrifice that you've done, like you're expecting to have multiple years. You've probably already made changes, uprooted family, purchased new homes. Where's the money going to come at now? Where's that money coming from? So I guess what you're saying in that bargaining agreement, 4 years is vested, right? That's too far.
Right.
Well, I fully expect the Buffalo Bills to step in and do something.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to take care of it.
Just like
I would hope so.
With Andrew Luck. I mean, Andrew Luck retired
a
few years ago because all the elements of his body. And the Colts stepped up and said, look, like, your contract's still full. Like, I think they could have got he would have owed them money. And then they came out and they're like, it's fully guaranteed. He can take all his money. You know what I mean? And he retired, I think, like 3 or 4 years after getting a big contract. So, I mean, I fully expect Buffalo. If not, I mean, Bills Mafia is one of the biggest fan bases in the league. They always come, like, Mafia. I don't know if you guys seen all the donations, like the donations.
I was going to say his charity is good.
Speak about the charity, man. Yeah. Like, he had a charity that he put out for a toy drive.
Right.
And the goal was only $2,500 prior to this game. The last time I checked, this thing is almost at $5 million.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So there's been a good silver lining out of this, and a bright spot. And hopefully, I hope for the best recovery that he can get out of this, and to me, I hope it will help push this forward for these players.
Right.
When it comes to when they leave this game,
and that bargaining,
because his situation is not necessarily, that doesn't happen every day.
Right,
that's not an everyday thing, and obviously it wasn't a situation where it was a resulting from a vicious hit or a helmet to helmet. This was a very unique situation, but I do think it lends itself to show that, like, you know what, forget the bargaining part, because a lot of people put it on the bargaining because you got the players union and then you have the NFL. It does not require negotiation for you to show compassion as the NFL. Like, that's the BS. That's the BS that corporations push so often. They say, oh, well, there's a deal to be had. That's what a lot of CEOs say. Mm-hmm. They say, oh, there's a deal to be had. No, you don't need to negotiate to be compassionate about whether your employees, and in this case, these are players.
Right, like some type of severity clause or something. And I don't know. Anyways, I'm not even going to get into the bargaining like I know. But one thing that I will talk about, kind of what we are talking about, is the situation that happened. Someone potentially, with someone administering CPR, lost their life temporarily, right? Stoppage of life, whatever. But, today's Thursday, right? And since Monday, since the incident has happened, there's been a lot of great reports have come out that he's doing good, which I guess gives us a little bit of the privilege to being able to talk about it in the manner that we are, right? Now, I do want to go ahead and address the situation with Skip Bayless himself.
Before we go, I just want to make one comment.
Go ahead.
One thing, just to go back on it. I only want to say this one time. And this is I'm not making an announcement or anything like that. So there's a little side argument going on online. I don't know if you guys I forgot the guy's name and I forgot everybody that's talking about it, about the situation that happened. And this is something that I've been keeping my eye on, and other people that have been talking about the vaccine. I don't want to say the word.
Oh, I heard about that bullshit.
And it's like, I want both sides to chill the hell out when it comes to it, because I'm on the side of this, and it's very, very, very close to me. You remember who she was. Shout out to Priscilla. She's gone. And she was someone who was just adamant about the vaccine, taking it. She took it 3 days later, gone. So I feel very strongly, had she not done that, she'd still be here, because I feel very strongly that when you take that, it does cause adverse reactions, and they're finding that out. There is actual science to that. So one day, I hope in the future, they'll be able to say, people that have gone through certain things, you know what I mean, with the vaccine, we can pay out to those people or those families for what's happened. You know what I mean? This situation, I wouldn't even go there with that. I wouldn't even bring it up, because it was blunt trauma. That's a little bit different. But when I saw it, and I know there's a huge amount of people that do believe this too, because when I talk to people, I didn't even bring it up. They go, that vaccine. And I go, I thought that too when I saw it. Even with my girl, then we were watching it, and I was like, I got a lot of pushback. Hold on. No. I don't want no pushback. No, nothing. We're going to go on the next thing. All I'm saying is this. Let me finish. So when I was looking at it, I was like, I know, but just keep your eye on it. You can't say nothing. Don't even, because, you know what I mean? Because to either say that that's the cause or reason, that's ignorant too. Let the scientists handle it. I don't like the people that go, how dare you say that? No. Like, science is science. Like, you know what I mean? There's that saying that they must find it difficult, those have taken authority as truth rather than truth as authority. Just let the facts come out, is all I'm saying. Like, we don't need to, there doesn't need to be this whole push of like, fuck you for sitting here and saying this, or fuck you for sitting here and saying that. No, keep an eye on it. Just keep it note. And the only reason why I say keep note on it is because before this incident even happened, there's a video showing like 30 other players within the last 2 years. It's crazy. It literally looks like the exact same thing from like just running, and all of a sudden they're just like, and then they go down in the almost the exact same manner. And there's a video out there. You can just type it in. Like, type in like people going down the same way. All I'm saying is keep note, but don't shout out and be like, oh, this is the reason why. No, it's not the reason why. Let's just keep note for now. Like, we can't sit here.
The problem is they ain't just keeping note. They're shouting out their
they shouldn't be.
And it's coming from the right.
Yeah.
It's coming from the conservative side. And I saw the article on that. I actually read 3 articles in regards to that. And anyone that is saying that is, not only is it reckless and insensitive, you inaccurate. You have no evidence to support that it has anything to do with that. You're dealing with a collision sport, and you're trying to choose this man's situation to further push whether your agenda or hypothesis on your hate for vaccines, whatever you want to call it. I feel like that it's highly disrespectful. It shouldn't even be said, because there's no evidence to support it. CTE and dealing with a lot of these trauma issues, dealing with concussions and all these different type of issues in this sport has been going on way before COVID. Way before.
The hockey player, I think in 1998 or something like that.
Yeah, but not just hockey. Yeah. Football, going all the way back. So for them to make that leap with no evidence is extremely reckless. I agree. I think we all should be open to new information. Yeah. So when it comes out, let's see what happens and we make an assessment. But to say this now when you have no evidence. You don't know nothing. Nobody's extracted this man's blood and did it for testing. Ain't nobody done none of that. And you got people out here on the right saying stupid ass shit, saying that this is the cause.
Right.
Yeah.
You sound dumb.
Same thing.
And I'll say that to anybody that believes that, because that's crazy.
Same argument I have about Skip Bayless. And I hate switching it up like that. But this is the same thing. You know, we're talking about it on Thursday, and we now have different facts, different information that came out, right? He said, what he said is, what he said was okay. Hear me out. I know you're going to ridicule me. You're going to probably edit that, and that's going to be the thing that you want to hear. What he said was okay. It was ill-timed.
Hold on. What did he say?
And highly insensitive.
So the first tweet at the top.
Well, let's go ahead and read the tweet first. So we got, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of the season. How this late in the season of a game of this magnitude, regular season outcome, which suddenly seems
so irrelevant. He walked it back with that last statement.
So, and he had a couple other tweets, and he seemed to try to walk it back towards the end. I think I'm gonna let you, since I just read it. I did hear what you want to say. I want to hear more of what you was about to say.
It's insensitive in the aspect of and ill-timed. Because at that time, we didn't know his status. In 100%. My mind, at that time,
100%.
At that time, a man had passed away, and you're worried about a fucking game. And I understand the magnitude. I understand it. It's a very, very high implication. This is the first seed we're talking about, and it's damn near a 3-way tie. You know what I mean? So I understand the magnitude of what you were saying. It was ill-timed in the aspect of it was too immediate. We have no response, no medical update or condition of the person that caused the stoppage of the game. So in my mind, in my eyes, you didn't care about him. You didn't care about Damar at all. You didn't care, you know. And I say it that way because, you know, if, let's just, God forbid, knock on wood, because obviously we're not in the clear, but there's great news, right? God forbid, let's say this young man passes away. You can't say condolences. You can't give blessings because you didn't care. The time that you posted that, it was insensitive and ill-timed.
The timing was insensitive.
The timing was the insensitive part.
Yes.
That was my problem with it, and that's why I said I don't have a problem about what he said. It's not bad, and it's definitely a topic and a conversation. It was the time of which you said it, as if you more so cared about that condition more than you
can see him walking it back the whole time. That's funny.
He did walk it back.
You can see that.
Go ahead. What you got?
No, I agree with Wynn. I think he definitely. I think the timing was very insensitive. I think if you look at the words that he says, I mean, I think we came to those discussions where this is a big game. Are they going to have the game or not? He just said it before it needed to be said.
Right.
He said it that night.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
That night.
He said it. No, it was like during.
Right after the game, like right as it
No. During during the suspension part. This is during while the fans are still in the stadium.
Right.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah.
He wanted
It's
to be
when he tweeted
He
this.
wanted to be the first one to have, I guess, get kudos for stating the obvious. No duh, Captain Obvious. We know. Like, we ain't worried about that right now. We're worried about the health of somebody, and you over here worried about what the fuck is going to happen with the score of the game.
Agreed. No, you right on that. I agree. When you read the tweet, I think everyone's reaction to it is the reaction took on its own type of character because everybody just wanted to find somebody to blame. Everybody was angry. Everybody's upset, and I did see everybody just kind of jumping on Skip Bayless, not saying that wasn't deserving.
Right.
But when you read it, you're like, it doesn't come off like.
Right.
I didn't get it where it came off like where he just didn't give a damn. What it came off as is like, dude, where's your mind at in this moment right now?
Right.
And the one thing about Twitter, it's putting your thoughts time-stamped. Like, and so you can timestamp what he was thinking because that's how Twitter is designed. And I'm not a person who uses Twitter. Like, I'm just not. Like, I don't use it, but I do understand its formula and what it does. And people be posting tweets all the time.
Bro,
Skeletons.
hit the nail on the. Bro, have you seen some of the people we know that are on there? I can tell when they're fighting with their significant other.
Right.
I can tell when they're. And if you want to know how someone feels,
Shit, you know when they had makeup sex.
Yeah, exactly.
The tweet right after.
Like when
you thought the
know,
breakup was happening.
Bro, Twitter,
Nah.
Twitter, this is crazy. I don't know what's up with people's mental. But
Guts
it's like
time.
whenever something happens to them, they have to post it. This is what's going on in my life. It's the most weirdest immature shit I've ever seen. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I see so many people. I'm like, why are you letting us know your business? Like, this is crazy. It's
Like
cool
you
though.
on the porno.
I'll be honest with you. So
No, I wouldn't. I didn't tweet it.
So, for example, like I think it's hilarious because for entertainment purposes, I understand why somebody like Skip Bayless or a celebrity, a media personality, somebody like them are trying to stay relevant. There's a money thing with that. There's a attention
But
thing.
regular people,
like I don't.
nobody be looking at their comments.
I don't-
Nobody,
I
they
don't-
just be posted like how they feel.
I should
What?
not even having a in-person interaction with you. I should not know the inner workings of your relationship via Twitter.
That's that Gen
Let's
Z
just
shit.
be,
That
let's
is
just
that
be
Gen.
clear.
That's that.
I
Gen
should not
Z
know. I should not know basically the love languages of your relationship.
Yeah.
I should not.
That's just crazy.
But that's the point. It is a real life timestamp, and it does highlight someone like Skip
man.
where his mind was at the moment where Damar Hamlin's life was in the balance. And so you spoke to it perfectly. Timing. Because they've talked about what Skip kind of question he raised. I would say, I think it was today. They really started maybe yesterday, kind of coming in today as far as sports media, kind of like, okay, what are we doing? But that was after that there was a positive trajectory of where Damar Hamlin's health condition was. It was starting to get a little bit better. Like, they kept hearing good news. His uncle came out and started, posting some updates that he was moving in a positive direction. The doctors came out and gave their diagnosis and their update on his health condition. So it kind of opened up the door to feel a little bit more free to kind of talk about these things because you felt like Damar was on a good path.
Right.
But Skip, that's the part where I think people thought that he didn't give a damn because his was in the balance. You did, in all honesty, you didn't, for the first time ever, we did not know if someone was going to have passed being on the football field, which has never happened.
the aura felt. You
That
felt
was
it.
such
You
an
felt
eerie thing to see and witness, and I think that's where the insensitivity part comes in for somebody like Skip. Now,
His
who
family-
in there watches Fox Sport 1 Undisputed, the show that Skip is on?
I've seen
a
what
few
happened.
times.
Who
I've
watches
seen
the show?
I've seen.
I watch it.
I've seen it.
I
Yeah,
watch
you've
it probably
seen
a few times a week if I can make it through.
Well, I mean, Shannon's my
Can I
guy.
say-
he always got the yak on, on set, with the yak and the black mouth. That's my dog right there. Let's
Hey,
go.
bro, that's the first time
With
I ever
you.
seen somebody. You got to shout out to Shannon. That's the
With
first
you,
dude that
baby, I'm with you.
wore a do rag and had some Hennessy with some grape Optimos on stage. He's
He rocking.
I'll
yeah.
never forget that show. What did he do? He was like, he said, Skip. He said, I'm on them moles, but I'm about to be on them Rillos because them grapes they be like that. I was like, boy, they done messed up letting him be on the show. So shout out to Shannon, but
Facts.
we got to speak about it. He was absent
Yeah, he was.
for that show,
He
for
was.
a reason though.
and
What was the reason though? Like Warren, dive into. I mean, obviously we know the reason. He mentioned it the day after, but did you in the moment when when Skip said his comment, the next morning Shannon wasn't on the show? What was your thoughts?
I thought it was definitely for what Skip had said. I mean, because if you watch, I think we're about to play the clip here, but it's very emotionally charged. You know what I mean? If you look at Shannon, I mean, you could tell in Shannon's eyes, Shannon wasn't playing.
Right.
He wasn't playing with Skip, and I
well,
mean,
he was emotionally affected because of
he
Damar's
was.
condition because he's
He
a
was.
football player. He felt like it's a brotherhood, with
right.
him.
And I mean, as you've seen, like as he was addressing Skip, it's like he told him, like, dude, like let's just play.
Yeah, let's just play
I
that
don't
video.
wanna-
Let's go ahead and see how that goes.
Push it again,
Bruh.
because I want to save everybody.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody, and welcome into Undisputed here on FS1. I'm Jen Hale. Back
Can't
with
see
Skip
shit from
Bayless
there.
and Shannon Sharp, guys. Good to see you.
Can't see shit from there either though.
You want to share this?
That light.
Facts.
A little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagreed with the tweet, and hopefully Skip will take it down, but I didn't want to.
I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me finish.
All right, okay.
Go ahead.
He was done.
Hey.
Shan was done.
No, Skip. I mean, Shannon ain't
Go ahead.
playing.
Yeah.
Pause it, bro.
You could have came back. Well, I thought, Skip, this meant I was going to bring out. No, I was just going to say, Skip.
Hold on. Keep it going now. Well, I mean, we was getting ready to dialogue on it. You missing it?
No, that's all right.
With Damar Hamlin, with the we should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting. Okay? I was under
He pissed. He hot. You can tell it. You can see it in his face.
had a problem with that tweet. No. Clearly the bosses wanted you to offer explanation. So clearly something.
No, they did not have. Nobody.
Let's go, Jan.
That nigga hot. Like he like, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up, Skip.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to do the show.
He didn't want to talk to him.
It's
So this is another question. Is there going to be another show?
So let's give a little bit of backstory. Let's give a little bit of backstory for this. So just in all honesty, outside of Damar Hamlin, unfortunately, this situation has sparked up more tension between these two, especially with Skip's tweet. But their relationship has been a little bit tumultuous lately.
Ooh, what is that? I don't know that word, tumultuous.
I know, right? He'd be coming up with these
Hold on,
goddamn
nigga.
school book words and shit. I'm like, bro, what
Oh,
you
he
do?
said a
Study
school
the
word.
dictionary before you come down?
Tumultuous.
Tumultuous.
But
Yeah, it's
honestly,
basic. No, but it's basically. So I'm just gonna give you a little bit of insight on that. I'm gonna give you a little insight on that. So these guys, I would say it was either last week. It was the game after. I'm sorry. It was. We were the cause of it because the Niners put a hurting down on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. And basically, Skip is a huge Tom Brady supporter. Okay, like unapologetically Tom Brady supporter. And Skip and Shannon is kind of more on the side of like he thinks Tom Brady's great quarterback, but he feels like he's not what he used to be, and he says he still needs to be held accountable to level of play, that type of thing. And they basically had a back and forth in which Skip took a shot at Shannon at his career. Shannon is a 3-time Super Bowl champion and a Hall of Famer, one of the best tight ends to ever play the game.
right.
And they were going at it. It was a debate, and they going back and forth. And Shannon brought in like, you act like he just paraphrasing what he said. He said, "You act like I was a bum." He said, "I'm in the damn Hall of Fame." And then Skip says, "So what? Tom Brady was way better than you."
Shut the fuck up.
And he takes a personal shot at him just to defend Tom Brady after he played like trash against the Niners in that 35-7 loss. So this has already been a little bit of a rocky situation between these two. And a lot of people, if you listen to a lot of the media or listen to anyone that actually covers this on a regular basis, because we ain't necessarily a sports show, but there's more podcasts out there that do this on a regular. And they've been talking about that that was one of the indications of a split. Like this, there might be going somewhere because Shannon's got his podcast, Club Shay Shay, that's doing real well. He may not necessarily need this, so I feel like this, I definitely think Shannon's frustration is still built up from that situation, and this just made it over the top. It just got to the point like, dude, like I'm talking about this situation, and you make this insensitive tweet, and I'm trying to make it known to you what's going on. And I just want to be clear too. Skip just lied. I don't know if anybody knows. Skip lied.
What do you mean?
On that video that just happened.
What do you mean? What did he lie about?
So Shannon said something very specific about the producers saying that he needed to address his tweet.
Oh, okay, right.
They absolutely did because, and so if you go to the episode before this, so this is the show that happened the next morning after Damar Hamlin's injury.
Right.
So we talking about Tuesday morning when the show comes on. Skip actually said that the producers told him, "Hey, you've been getting a lot of activity and comments about that tweet you put out. You might need to address that." He said that. His own words. Go pull up that show. I actually got it recorded. Anybody that's listening, pull up that show. Skip says that out of his own mouth, and then when Shannon calls him out on it right now, he tries to walk it back like he didn't say it. So Skip is on some bullshit right now.
You want to know what's funny? He is on some bullshit. And, no one's really thinking about it, but wasn't Skip on with Stephen A? Wasn't it
Yeah.
the Stephen A and Skip?
Yeah.
And
There
then
was- he was on ESPN.
Then they got a divorce, right?
Yeah, I
and
think
then they
that
had
was
the
contractual. Though.
Common
oh,
denominator.
it wasn't beef.
I
Troll.
don't think
They
so.
were very tumultuous.
Well, I think they have beef now.
No, it was the bag for
They-
Skip.
yeah, they
It was
have-
he got a fat bag from
Because I
from
believe
Fox.
at the beginning of last year, there was some type of beef going on with Stephen A. Or Stephen A. said something about Skip. And, Stephen A.'s with ESPN and Skip's with Fox.
Right.
And Stephen A. said something about Skip, about another pretty much, what do they call him, a TV personality?
Right.
He said something about another TV personality on another network. And Skip, I think he came out and he addressed it. He was on set by himself and he spoke about it. I forgot what happened though, because this was like a year ago. But I think now they're not where they used to be. So
So my thing is it Skip? The Skip got to go? Undisputed held on to the wrong star? Like you have another guy, Shannon, who ain't done nothing but brought y'all good highlights and a great argument, a great conversation, right? Someone who can deal with him, right? Shannon ain't dealing with him no more. You can see it in his face. And that's why I say it's interesting. Obviously, it's 2 days later. I'm not sure what they're talking about now, but is there going to be some future beef that we're going to see out of this show? And what's going to happen?
It's hard to
Go that
predict,
way.
but it's definitely. I've seen some of the signs, like I said, based on the previous show when he really took that personal shot at him. I think that carried over some of that frustration, and stuff like that. So I think that whether they split up or not, I think Skip. People got to understand. Skip is 70-something years old. It's hard to change an old person's mind, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just call it what it is.
They know
Like
it.
they've been living here for that long, 7 decades, man. That's a long time to get somebody to change who they are and what they want to say, especially when they think they right.
Right.
So for
Or
somebody like
racism.
him, and he in the industry that he's in, the reason why he's able to say what he says is because it does get ratings. We talking about it right now, and a lot of people is tuning in. So as long as those ratings are picking up, they gonna keep him on.
Cause that tremolidity.
This guy.
Is that a word?
I'm so fascinated.
I thought you would know.
Out of all the words you've come up with, bro, that's a word I feel like.
I didn't invent that word.
But I feel like
Tumultuous.
if your girl wanted to break up with you, you'd be like, baby, you know what? I know we're very tumultuous right now, and she would be like, "Ooh, I ain't losing this educated."
Did you
nigga.
look that up in the dictionary before
I ain't
the
look.
show?
I am not losing this.
I use
educated
that
nigga.
on the regular, boy.
You
Shit.
use tumultuous on the regular.
Absolutely.
Tumultuous.
I'm out here at Safeway getting my groceries, and they're looking rather tumultuous. Like,
No,
what the
no. That's not you.
Oh, you sound like a ignorant.
I'm just saying. You use that on the regular?
Tumultuous.
All right.
If you see two people arguing, be like, "Hey,
Tumultuous
you
means
guys are
beef.
acting very tumultuously."
Like
Stop.
it's rugged right now. It's
Yeah.
it's not good. That's
Nigga,
what
I
it's
ain't
basically.
never heard
That's
you
the
say
short
that
term.
shit.
Tumultuous.
Nigga,
Come on now. You being truculent. You being truculent when
All right. Okay, Skip. All right, Skip. I'm going to start calling you Skip over here lying on air and shit. Anyways.
Can you use it like what other forms? Like if two little kids are like fighting, I'm like, quit the tremolicity. Stop it. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know if that's a word.
I want to
don't
use it.
think
I
so.
want to use it like crazy.
No,
now.
that's a common word.
y'all was
Nigga,
acting
please.
tumultuous before the show today.
Tumultuous.
You ain't lying there.
Why is there so much tremolicity? But there's got to be forms. of
What
this.
you got on Dana White?
Fuck it. I guess Dana White got two other people that he can bitch slap right now. That's Skip and that little motherfucker Bart Scott. I don't know, but this nigga
Bart ain't little.
He little after that comment he made. I'll definitely say that.
I gotta pick up on that because I don't know, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if he said that.
I'm telling you. Anyways,
I don't think you like Bart Scott because he be beating on
you know
your
what?
goddamn
I actually love Bart Scott. You know, back in when I was actually playing Madden back in the day, I forget what Madden it was, but the franchise mode, Bart Scott was my middle linebacker, and I played the middle linebacker every time I played Madden. We're not talking about football. Yes, I did play football. I was a fat boy. Don't
Dana
get me
White.
wrong.
Dana White.
Dana
King
White.
of
Anyways,
Sacramento.
Dana White. All right, he was kind of a nightclub on New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, whatever you want to call it, because New Year's Eve 1 minute, New Year's Day the next. And he was caught on
First
film.
of all, before we get to that,
Go ahead.
would you have kicked Dana White out?
Yeah,
You security.
I've done it before. It's sad.
Just him?
Yeah, I did just him. And the funny messed up part about it is that the girl who he hit was like, no, it's okay, like fighting for him to stay in. But I was like, nah, you gotta go. It's a problem. Then if you want to leave with him and you want to continue your driving down the street where it's not my problem, then absolutely. No, but he gotta go. You gotta go, bro. I don't care. I don't care if you get your bottle or not.
Wait a minute.
I don't care if you pay the deposit or not. You gotta go.
Let's play this.
Sounds crazy. I did not hear about this.
You see this? Oh. It looks like they're dancing, but then again, it looks like she's being held a little aggressively right there as they're whispering in the ear. He's going back, whispering, and like she turns, grabs his arm, and then she immediately smacks him.
Wait, stop. What would you have done right there?
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, motherfucker.
First one was a hot croissant.
So the first time,
Hey, you see how he hit her though? He went like a cat, like
He'd have got on the.
I want to know what King of Sex.
They're both out. They're both out.
So
Let's get to this, man. Let's talk about it because Dana White is taking a lot of heat. A lot of people are talking about maybe he needs to resign from the UFC and step down. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that they're talking about a whole bunch of stuff. And I look at the video and I'm looking at it. I see. You know what I see?
you better not say self-defense.
I see domestic violence.
Okay, yeah.
Both of y'all
Both
going.
of them.
Okay.
Both of y'all.
So, and this is my thing to that matter, to the whole he needs to step down BS, which, you know,
That's crazy.
did she file a report?
Then he can file a report.
That's my thing. So domestically, you know, that's something where you need to work that out. And obviously, I'm not trying to say that was right in any way at any time.
And he apologized for it. He came out and said what he said, which he should have.
Right.
But
Which I'm
at
glad
the
he
same
did.
time, it's
domestic violence,
to me,
but they're handling it
It
in-house.
speaks to the double standard in this regard. And there's so many different headlines that are out there saying that. Because when I first heard about it, I was like,
When I saw the title, I was like,
I
whoa.
was like, damn, did he really? Did he be? Because I think the first thing you think of, he's UFC. You obviously how violent UFC is. So he's like, damn, man.
I thought he gave her an African slap, like a big,
what
like, I was a
Question, right?
He's like, one of them ones, like, oh shit.
What's that look like, Tony?
Zeze Bora. Se cuida. Zabu al. You know, it's like, I thought it was one of them. Shit.
Just fucking ask a question to you, since you're in the domestic on both sides. Is what he did right or wrong?
As far as the wrong part, I think it wasn't smart. It wasn't smart.
You're avoiding.
Like that's not the reaction that you
You're
have.
you're deflecting.
I'm not deflecting.
There you go with the big
He's a human, and your natural reaction when somebody slaps you is going to be to do that. Now, if that had been me, that's not my position. That's not my natural reaction to actually do that in that situation.
You to give that Cuba Gooding Jr. like,
But
I would have grabbed her. I would have grabbed her in that situation.
what I'm
know
saying
you would have
is-
grabbed her.
yeah, we know what you would have did.
I would have grabbed her. Okay.
You would have grabbed her by what?
Nah, bro. I would
By the what?
have grabbed her by the arms. I would have grabbed her
By
by
the
the
arms?
arms because I'm not going to be publicly humiliated.
would you shake her?
all right?
Like,
I'm not going to be publicly humiliated. I'm going to grab her by the arm. I'm going to try to. I'm going to
Tell
grab
us
her.
the truth, man.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you the truth. I'm
Boy.
telling you the truth. I'm going to grab her by the arms.
He would have nestled his pinkies right around her traps.
Shut the fuck up, dog.
Boy, them pinkies would have them pinkies would have
I
been
tell
resting
you,
on them traps.
motherfuckers, one little thing in private, okay? One little thing in private. Motherfuckers blow that shit up. Never again. Never fucking again. Okay, but look. Where?
Let's go to the laundry room.
So she slaps him. She slaps him.
Right,
He slaps her.
right.
It already feels and looks bad, but even if it were out of natural reaction, okay. You know what I mean? You got your one hit in for her one hit, but then you slap her again.
Oh, I think she slapped him again.
Wasn't really manly enough.
it was very like,
She slapped him again too.
oh, she did. Okay. Yeah. So
Play it again, Stephon. I need to see it again. I didn't see her slap again.
They basically they having a slapping match,
They're having a slap fight,
and it's wrong. It's not right. It's not something that they both should be doing.
Slap boxing.
Pretty much.
regardless if they say that there's alcohol involved or not. Let's see. Talking. He's cool. Chill. Grabs her hand, slap. She
got him
smacks him
good.
first. It was a good smack. Boom.
And he gave her a
smacked
small one
back. Okay.
He didn't even hesitate though. This is a tumultuous
And then grabs her,
situation.
smacks
They
her
both
one
kinda-
more
they
time.
both
Now,
kinda
so-
smacked each
So
other.
he smacked her twice.
No, they both, and then they're just
Some
going at it.
pushing and shoving going on. All right, whatever. In general, it's wrong. It's wrong.
It's not a good look for him. It's
Wrong.
not. It's not a good look because he needs to be smarter than that and he's got more to lose. Number one, and he needs to be smarter in that situation and not let his emotions get the best of him in that. But let's not sit here and pretend that this woman, his wife, don't deserve some culpability in this.
What's the next UFC?
I don't know.
Could you imagine if he's like, guys, I know it's not really going to be a main event, but we're going to be the undercards, going to be me and my wife.
Ain't it coming up this Saturday? Oh, no, that's Devontae Booker.
Tank.
Oh,
Oh,
shit,
my
my
God.
bad. What is his name? Devontae?
Tank Davis.
No, Tank.
Tank. There you go. Damn, Devontae Booker and Tank
No,
Davis.
Javante.
Them niggas, well, they do kind of.
Gervonta, yeah. He's fighting this weekend.
Yeah.
He's going to win. He's fighting.
Yeah, it's done.
He's getting ready for.
Don't
Ryan.
nobody need to watch it. Yeah. No,
I'm still
don't
gonna watch it. I'm gonna
watch
watch
it because you want him to get paid. It's the money thing, but he gonna win.
Oh, don't pay. Y'all pay?
No.
No,
I haven't
don't pay.
paid in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
I ain't going to say the
I don't know
website.
if we
But
should
y'all
say
know the
that.
website, so.
Everybody know the website.
But in general,
Speaking
I
of that,
say treat it like
shout
the-
out to London though, because they're gonna be showing that fight. So
Really?
That's what's up.
Watch
Paying
that.
for it.
Might go
Saturday.
there. Shit.
I say you handle this situation like the NFL. You know how the NFL waits to hand down your suspension or your fine until something is actually proven, or they got some type of concrete evidence. When you're asking him to step down, I mean, damn, this is concrete evidence of what happened. But
should he step down for it though?
no,
Okay. So what do you think should happen?
Man, those were soft
What's his
calls.
punishment? What's his punishment?
if there was a police report filed or someone was arrested for domestic violence, I would say yes.
Because video plays a big part in these type of situations. I'll never forget the
Ray Rice incidents.
situation.
Yep, Ray Rice incident.
And I remember before the video came out, they were talking about it. They were saying, okay, they had a
3-game suspension.
Yeah, this whole thing, and it was this, bro. When that video came out, Ray Rice never touched the football field again.
Right, facts.
Because a video says a million words.
It does.
And when you
did.
cold cock
Yeah.
your own woman
You damn near dragged
in
her out
the
of the
elevator and then dragged her like you was abducting her,
like a dead body.
it didn't look good, brother.
Yeah.
Like you 100, but you went way too far
Yeah, he cleaned
with
her
that, and that's obviously not this situation.
Very true.
So
But it still ain't right.
it's not right, but I think it's from both of them. Both of their perspective is not right. You need to keep your hands to yourself. I don't care if you're a man or woman. You need to keep your hands to yourself.
True.
And this whole idea that it's exempt if a woman hits a man, that's crazy talk. That's not true. That's not true. And anybody preaching that, you gonna run into the wrong dude
Tony,
that don't have them standards.
what you got, Tony? I need to hear it.
No, we've been talking about it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
What you doing?
in that situation,
Bro, he that robust.
Viv smack you in the middle of the club. What you doing?
nah, just grab her, make her feel bad. Like, why would you do that to me? You know what I mean? Like, play it smart. You know what I mean? Especially if you're Dana White in this position. If you're someone big, the camera's always on you in some way, shape, or form. Like, someone's always recording.
Shout out to the person with that, boy. They way across the goddamn club.
Yeah, they
boy.
was. They got
He
it
had-
on zoom
He
in
got his
mode.
zoom in all the way.
Just
I
keep
was
it
like,
off.
boy.
And steady. You know how when you zoom
Man.
in, that shit get all wild.
He was like, oh, Dana White, let me get him.
Let me just, something's going to happen. Yeah, no, you got to keep it cool, man. Especially a hit like that. Like, she did hit good, but especially when you're a guy and there's certain hits that you shouldn't get hit, but it's like, let's whatever, take it. Especially when they drunk, they're going to look stupider. When the argument comes out later, what happened, they're going to look dumber. Like, you should just let her beat on you and in the end be like, look what
Just
you did.
leave.
Or just leave, yeah.
Just leave. Just walk away, man.
He looks like a bitch for hitting her though.
Yeah, the way he did too, like,
Yeah.
that was, don't.
He did the Ric Flair, the wrestling Ric Flair, like, you know how they like stomp and slap at the same time. He did one of those, like, we had the stomping effect into this shit, like a wrestling hit.
If that was Amanda Nunez, is he still trying to slap?
Man,
I
I
don't
don't
think
know,
so.
man. They may have to wrestle. I mean,
She'd probably beat him up.
If she punched, like, the way she punched,
Yeah, nah, she might have got close.
But he would have been scared to hit her back.
You think so?
Yeah. She'd beat up Dana White.
Nah, I don't think
You don't
she would.
think so?
I don't think he would have been scared. I think he would have might try to
But if
choke
they
hold her.
fought, who would win?
I think
you
she
dumb
would.
bitch, stop flipping that bottle before you drop it. Sorry.
I don't know. know about that. Man.
Housekeeping.
I think Emmanuel Nunes will whoop his ass.
Man, I think people be underestimating a man's strength, boy. I don't know.
I think he got a lot.
She
of
got
bitches.
hands and feet. No lie.
True that.
But I'm just
Trained
saying.
hands.
I don't know. Dana White got that face that he did. Like, he done been punched before.
I thought he fought, just on base,
Like-
on how he looks and what he does. But Dana, it don't look good for you, man. That's all I gotta say to you.
I always say, guy or girl,
Hey,
in any situation.
Dana White. At the end of the day, man, what you did was not a smart decision, but
I don't get the
it
hit.
could have it could have been worse.
Guy-
You could have did like what somebody else did.
Could have Ray Riced her.
I think it's,
or you could have winned her.
I think it's mentality, man. It's guy or girl, no matter what the situation
Could have
is,
did something else.
you always
I
look.
don't know.
The Simpson.
Boy.
Speaking of MMA though, y'all hear about Jake Paul, right? Jake Paul is going MMA now. He signed a deal. I think he signed a deal for
That's stupid.
multi-year and like multi-fights to fight the MMA.
That's
It's actually
that's
pretty
stupid.
smart. I may actually get to see
Oh,
that.
wait a
lose.
minute. I want to hear this. You saying it's dumb? You saying it's smart? What
Yeah.
y'all got?
I say,
Why you think?
I say
Why,
it's smart
why you think it's dumb, Tony?
The reason why I think it's dumb, and I'll probably be proven wrong in the sense of if he does push through the training, is I feel like with boxing, especially if you have enough money with it, you can actually go and do what Jake Paul has proven by going into the world of boxing and actually being able to contend. Because why? You only got to worry about your hands. Well, going into the MMA, I'm sorry, that takes more muscle memory. I feel like now he's going to have to contend with 8 different parts on his body. He's going to chokeholds, things that should be natural aren't going to be natural to him. Sometimes you have to have a talent for that, especially when it comes to MMA. He has a bigger chance of getting his ass whooped.
I feel you there.
He needs to play it smart on who he fights.
At the same time, that plays into the smarter aspect of it as well.
Pay-per-view.
The criticisms about him being and fighting old hags, that old boxers, and now you get into a ring with MMA players who actually fight for a living.
That's going to be interesting.
And if he makes it, all the doubters got to shut the fuck up.
Yep.
They can't say shit about Jake Paul anymore. That nigga is a fucking fighter.
So is
And he a
this Jake
dog.
or Logan?
Jake.
Okay.
Logan wouldn't do something like that. Logan don't have the heart. He don't. He doesn't. Jake does. So that's why I think the difference is between the two. But
I don't know, man.
Which
Definitely
brother is it that fights?
definitely a bag is involved.
Yeah.
Well, of course, he's getting paid regardless, you know what I mean? But at the same time, he's still keeping his name up because now he got paid for multiple fights.
But I think he's gonna have a target on his back, man.
Of course.
Like,
of
'cause
course.
Literally, guys are gonna be.
Willie's
guys
going to try
are-
to come back.
Guys,
Willie's going to try to be like, you want to do UFC now? Let's do it then.
bro.
He's going to choose his fights.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like, because I feel like guys I'm talking about the no name, the guy that you don't even know is gonna be like, man, this is my shot. They're gonna be like, this is the world title, belt on the line, whole thing. This right here, because if I win this fight and beat this dude, that's
You're
gonna
a
be
celebrity in the
you're not gonna
media.
get more famous than that.
Right, you're going to be a celebrity in that,
And,
that social
so
media.
I feel like he might be setting himself up, like, because everybody is going to be giving you their best.
Both ways. Both
Like,
ways.
and are you able to take that? Now, if he comes out of it on top, hey, you got to give it to
Bro,
him.
that nigga about to be the new money maker. He about to be Floyd. He about to make. He about to be able to book any fight.
yeah,
He
chill.
can book any fight.
Chill,
Pay any amount of dollars.
Tell him.
It's smart.
Tell
bro.
him, Warren.
Okay.
Tell
Okay.
him.
Okay. I'm
Get
sorry.
him.
I'm sorry. You must be riding on the Mayweather nut train. I'm
here we
sorry.
go.
I'm sorry.
Here we go.
Get
Okay.
him.
But I'm saying boxing is about the entertainment, keeping people like tuned in. And
Sadly,
the
it
reason
is.
why we
Sadly.
want to watch boxing is because of the name. Now, if Jake Paul goes through these MMA fighters like it's nothing, this fool will be able to box and put any event on and probably get paid top dollar for this event. Maybe not on the level of Money Mayweather.
But
Okay.
you said it, though.
But I'm just saying he will be the next best thing because Mayweather ain't
It's a bad
fighting no
idea.
more.
It's a bad idea.
So who's gonna take that type of? Who's gonna get that type of bag? If the man makes it out alive, the man will be probably the smartest, richest boxer out there. Simple as that. He ain't even got to win. He'll just be like, "Hey man, come do this exhibition match. We gonna call it a title fight."
You did say
But-
Steph Curry was the GOAT versus Michael
No, I
Jordan.
never said that.
I thought you did.
Oh, I did say Steph Curry over LeBron. I did say that.
So, yeah.
I
Yeah.
did say that, didn't I? Well, he will. He will one day. He will one day. Okay, how about
Get him
that?
up out of here.
Let me fix that.
Get him up out of here.
Let me fix
Out
that.
of here, man.
Anyways, well, from UFC to UFOs, what y'all got on it, huh?
Let's see the video.
You have the video?
Yeah, let's watch the.
I don't know.
I
I'm
can't
not sure. I
believe
think
this was
you
a
put it in the
UFO.
preview, right? You put it in the preview of what it was.
Just it's something else. I'm thinking it's Elon Musk again. Eminem finally got his space shit up and he up there fucking with people. It's just
Yeah,
technically
it
a
is
big
the
ass
one.
blimp.
Damn it!
I
I can't
gotta
see
see
because
this. Is it moving, nigga? Is it moving or is it just a big ass cloud? I don't know which one it is.
What is that?
You know her high ass was looking up in the clouds like, oh my god, that cloud looks different.
I wouldn't even have noticed that.
That shit does look wild though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that should look correct. That don't look like no cloud.
No, that definitely does. It's a. Hey, I get to use a big word now. That's a lenticular cloud.
Shut the fuck
That's a
up.
what?
Lenticular cloud. They're
Why
everywhere.
when you say it, I don't
thought you
believe
said-
it. But when that nigga
you
said
said
it, I believe it. I
lenticular?
don't know what
No,
the fuck that
lenticular.
means.
No, there's hella clouds that look like that.
It's lenticular.
No, like there's hella clouds that look like that. They're lenticular clouds. If you look them up, like they look exactly like that. They look like UFOs in the sky. But that's just the way that the
It's
shit
just the
ain't
way
move,
the
though.
cloud is formed.
yeah, it's just the way the clouds form.
That shit didn't move, huh?
No.
I'm expecting to see it moving in a specific. Nah, man, that ain't no goddamn UFO. Stop scaring the
Did y'all
fuck
hear
out
about
of
the Vegas UFO?
I heard about that
you
one,
see
too.
that
That's the
one?
one I
Yeah,
thought you were
dude.
gonna post because I think Al sent that to me, and that looked crazy.
Well, they said it was a reflection, which is weird though. They
Was
said
it
it was a
weird?
reflection of the hotels. It wasn't really a UFO, but it's
I'll
like
buy that.
Like what in the sky is reflecting the light from a hotel though? You know what I mean? It don't make no sense. But if you see, I don't know if you can pull that up, but the Las Vegas one was it was pretty crazy.
Oh, what was
Honestly, sometimes I be thinking they just be those drones and people be up there fucking with people, making it look like a UFO flying around and shit.
True.
I,
What do you think about them? Do you think it's real though?
I don't want to
You
believe.
maybe not this, but
I don't want to believe it's real. How about that? I think that's.
don't wanna
I don't
believe
want
it's
to
real?
believe it's real.
why not? What are you scared of?
The fact that we may not be alone, and then if that's the case, all these predetermined movies have told us these motherfuckers is getting ready to attack us, take over. You know, it's scary to think that.
Why would no? Oh my god!
So, what do you think they would do? Why would they come for
Well,
our resources?
An alien species that advanced probably has already gotten past warfare. Like I don't think they're there to fucking cause war. Like
So why would they come?
that my opinion isn't that they would come. My opinion is that they're already here.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
with
already
Tony.
that's already
I agree with
here's
Tony.
a crazy part. It's proven already. Paul Hellyer, if you look up a man by the name of Paul Hellyer, is the Prime Minister of Canada, literally put out a statement that there are 4 different species on this earth already. He explained who they are, why they're here, what they're doing. Like he explained it all. He's a Canadian Prime Minister. This isn't a conspiracy theorist. This is a politician, highly paid, highly intelligent, that already came out and said aliens are here.
There was an alien playing in the NBA. That fool had got hit in the nose and was bleeding out some yellow goo and shit. Y'all see that?
No, I've never seen that.
It was like it was
That
recent.
sound like a Men in Black.
I'm telling. I kid you
Yeah.
not. It was like it was yellowy blood on the court.
That sounds like snot and blood.
It could have been a whole bunch of snot. Then, if that's the case, it was a lot. Anyways, but I mean, it's kind of hard to believe that, and you know, I think of movies like what is that? The Tomorrow War.
It's hard to believe there's aliens.
The Edge of Tomorrow.
So do you believe in the universe? Do you believe those are planets out there, solar systems in the sky?
Absolutely.
So you think out of all the billions and billions of solar systems that are out there,
Nothing
that
else
we are the only
exists.
life?
Okay, how about this? I don't think that they have the technology in order to move from planet to planet. How about that? Even though we can make it tomorrow or to
I mean,
the
that's
moon,
a different take. I mean,
you know, to the we can't really make it to Mars. You know, we got unmanned drones out there and everything like
Well,
that.
that's
What about
your-
this?
that's your
The
ego.
Pentagon, that's a declassified actual Pentagon video.
This was a real UFO.
And they put different fucking infrared. They put
Yeah.
sensors on
This is another one.
flying. That nigga's flying.
You're talking about going from like 0 to 80,000 feet in like seconds. We don't
What's
have
in-
any
Yeah.
technology.
What
like
you need
that.
to do is
Like,
listen
there's
to.
nothing like that.
He was on Joe Rogan. You need to listen to Bob Lazar.
yeah,
Bob Lazar.
That's
yeah,
the
Bob
most
Lazar.
interesting shit I've ever listened to.
And
in my
also,
life.
they got it's on Netflix. They got a series on it about UFO sightings too. That one was pretty
This
interesting
shit's
too.
fascinating.
But I mean, you do your research, and you know a lot of it's theories, a lot of it's is a
Yeah.
combination of evidence and stuff like this. So you kind of got to decipher for yourself. I will say, to your point, when it's very arrogant to think that we are the only ones, and I don't
Very
want to.
arrogant.
I don't want to make
Very.
it seem like the the aliens is the ones that's
I'm
like from
arrogant as a
Independence Day,
motherfucker.
or I think that's what everybody's saying. That
Right.
word is so taboo. It's just basically it's somebody else that basically was not born on this planet. They weren't born
I got a
of this
question for you.
species.
Are you Christian? Like you believe in Jesus?
Even
I do, sir.
You do? So what did Jesus say? I am not of this world. So they didn't know, like what Rob's saying right now. It's like, but they don't have to be green little men.
Jesus said he's not of this world.
Not of this world. I am not of this world.
Even though he was born from a virgin mother, right?
Because everybody's born from a virgin mother.
So how are you not from this?
Like I'm telling you what he said.
Okay.
I am not of this world.
Well, this nigga said, what did you say earlier? The
What?
T word? What was the school word you used?
tumultuous.
Does that mean that he is tumultuous?
No. That's
I don't
not
know
using
You just
the
don't
word.
know how to use the word.
I don't. I really
Yeah.
don't. Because
I don't know where
you
you're
really
going with
looked up the
that.
dictionary before
you
you
look up
came to
no
this
dictionary.
motherfucker.
I've used
I swear
it.
to God, I ain't never heard you out of the 55 episodes say tumultuous. Am I even saying the word right? I don't even know what the fuck it means. You said beef. Does it really mean beef? It probably does mean beef. It does sound like it. Anyways, I don't want to believe that aliens are real because of the fear that it will bring and cause.
You gotta wake up, bro.
What kind of fear would it bring? Like the Catholic Church is already talking about baptism for aliens. Like everybody's already ready and prepared for this.
You know what I think? If there's any fear from my point of view,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say fear, but I do look at it like I feel like we as humans, we can be very compassionate, very thoughtful people, but at the same time, we some dangerous, nasty motherfuckers, bro.
Mhm.
And the movie District 9 really highlighted, like, I feel like we treat our own species like we treated them aliens. We literally put them as refugees in a motherfucking camp and treated them like shit, called them a nickname. They basically came up with the word nigga, but they called them prawns.
Yeah.
That was nigga for them. And they called them prawns, though, in the movie. And it's like, I've looked at that, and I'm like, that's how we would treat people like that.
True.
That's how we treat foreigners. That's how we treat people who don't necessarily look like us, but they human. What the hell you think we gonna do if some aliens actually came through?
I think they look at our planet and they're very sad. They're very like.
I think they scared of us.
Yeah, we ain't going there, bro. These people.
Well, some of the hypotheses are crazy. Like we're like the anthill. So it's like, why would you come down and talk to an anthill? You know what I mean? Like if you're driving by anthills all the time, like would you ever stop, get on your knees and talk to an anthill?
No.
You
We're
know
not
what I
there
mean?
yet.
So like, it's pretty fascinating, man. If you really just take a deep dive into it.
I'm just imagining. Why I'm having a Tony moment. I'm just imagining having a Warren voice. It's like, man, what y'all doing over there in that hill?
How you carrying that? That's big.
Man, that's impressive. Later on, you might be able to use your mind to move that.
Oh shit.
That shit is funny. But no, that's a good point.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Do we care what ants do?
Exactly.
No.
Mm-mm. They just don't. Like I said, they
We
would be
do
a
try
species.
to burn them with a magnifying glass, so.
I mean, I think they kind of do that when you talk about abductions and things like that. If you've seen the fact, what is it? 40,000 people go missing in the
Once
forest.
again, speaking to my fear.
Bro, like no, but it's
Speaking to the fear.
I swear, I think I was watching one night. We went through like maybe 4 episodes. I forget what Netflix show it was. It was on Netflix. It was UFO sightings and abduction. They was talking about all that, and they were talking about like real. You know how they do the dramatizations? They try to reenact kind of how it happened and all
Yeah.
that type of stuff. I ain't gonna lie. I get the fear part. 'Cause that's fearful.
Those are
to
the
be
grays.
abducted by something.
Those are the
like
grays.
those. But it's like sometimes I will say this: some stories sound more authentic and
Absolutely.
accurate than others. Because sometimes you be listening to them, be like, "Nah, motherfucker, look like you just had too many shrooms." And then this one over here, I'm like, "All right, that sounds a little crazy. You sound like you got a little bit more evidence. You don't look like your ass just fell off the wagon." You know what I mean? Like, so you got to look through it like this. You got to decide, make that decision on your own. You know what I mean? But don't be scared when. Don't be scared.
Sugar water.
There's worse things. To be
Oh, that's
scared
what you're
of.
scared
water.
of. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, and I forgot. There's a movie called Object 97 or something like that. It's on YouTube, man. If you'd like, I'd try to find it later. But it's called Object, where this guy has an object in his knee that's made of a material that's not of this world. That he said that when they abducted him, they put it in him. You know what I mean? It's crazy. There's just so many abduction stories.
Yeah, there's
and
a
I go
lot.
back to the people say, "Oh, those aren't true." I'm like, you really think everybody's in on it? Like they're all in on the facts of what happened and how it happened. Like,
I do think there's people who just want attention.
Yeah, there
and
are
they're
some
trying
of
to
those.
make shit up, and that's what kind of hurts the situation because you got people blowing smoke up your ass, making up stories. But I think that's the part where you got to just use your brain and you kind of say, okay, let me listen to this person. What are they saying? What are the facts? Are they being concise? Are they being clear? Are they being very specific on details? Like you start paying attention.
There's
to that
even lie
stuff.
detector tests on a lot of them.
Right.
They've done.
Yeah,
And,
it's
they
just
pass
like
them. It's
because I'm
crazy.
like, yeah, I agree. I was like, yeah, some people sound crowd. Boy, they sound nuts.
The term blowing smoke up someone's ass.
Yeah.
Like, did that derive from someone actually blowing smoke up somebody's ass? And what's the actual like side effect of doing that? Like,
Well,
what do you
we
Sound
want to
like
know?
a-
Is it underneath?
While you throw up tobacco like on South Park.
see? Look, somebody actually knows. You nasty motherfucker. I was just asking out of curiosity. You sick fuck. I know you probably tried it once, huh?
You sick too. You
I
asked
know.
if out of curiosity.
Don't you
I
get
don't know,
higher
my-
when you
my
put it
mind
up your
was-
asshole and let the smoke go up?
Boofing. Oh, look at these.
It's called what?
He said boofing.
Hold on. What
Never.
the fuck? All I said.
See?
All I said was an analogy, and y'all over here talking about what? What you say?
Put a little molly in your asshole. It's called boofing. Same thing with cocaine, like on Wolf of Wall Street. It actually hits harder because there's more glands in your asshole than there is in your mouth and your stomach. It takes in drugs. So sometimes
There's more glands in your asshole.
How do you know about this?
That's
How,
why-
how do you know about this?
The coke.
I'm not boofing yet, but I'm
You-
on the fence.
Why do they call it boofing?
It's like pooping, but you're boofing.
Who's gonna boof
Nigga,
you?
I'm done, nigga. Hey, bro, that's the end of the show. We gonna end on boofing on the.
I'm gonna stop. That's gonna make me feel like
Like, who's doing the boofing out here? That's what we need to get. We need to
Bend
figure out.
over, spread those cheeks.
You a boofer.
Yeah, let me boof you.
Boof,
You a boofer.
boof. Get this boof.
What up, Magic Voice? Man, hurry up.
Oh shit, we
You a
take it.
boofer.
I ain't down with the boofing.
Getting probed. And
Loud
boofed.
boofing ass.
Getting probed.
Getting probed and boofed.
You know, boofing ass.
Thank you so very much for tuning in to another special episode of About the Night. You rocking with the crew. Don't forget my extra guy in the background, Stefan.
Extra guy.
Extra guy in the back with his comments, boofing. Anyways, my guy Warren over here on the ones and twos, making sure your visuals is right. Don't forget about the guy Tony right here, making sure your sounds and we in your ears perfectly clear. And then don't forget about our video editor and chief right there, Mr. Rob Coates himself, man. You rocking with Winton, man. This is the crew every week. About the Night. Thank you so very much.
All right, so we was boofing, right?